Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at the Vice 2018 collection that's available right now from Cirque Colors. This collection was sent to me for review, and I'll go ahead and link their storefront and social media down below. So this is a collection of 6 gorgeous, vibrant neon polishes that are also UV reactive. They do tend to dry down a little bit dull, so I do recommend going in with your favorite glossy top coat, but honestly the formula on these cannot be beat. They are also mostly in that shade that's going to absolutely glow at dusk or in the dawn, especially in shade. Super beautiful, and I would love these all year round. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So first up is Retail Therapy, and this polish is described as a neon hot fuchsia pink cream nail polish. So here's a quick look at it in the bottle. I would say that this is a fairly accurate look at what the shade is. I know neons can kind of sometimes be really hard to photograph, and in these swatches they did tend to show up maybe a little bit brighter than they are because of how harsh and bright my lights are, but it does give you a really good look at that formula. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Really easy to use. These do an amazing job at self-leveling. I didn't have to worry about them pulling or anything like that. They do tend just to dry down a little bit dull. So here's a look at that second coat. This second coat does for sure bring this polish completely opaque. I didn't have any issues with streaking with this one or visible nail line at all, just a really gorgeous bright finish. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then here's a quick view at an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is Boozy Brunch, and this polish is described as a neon coral cream nail polish. So this again is a really good color accurate look at what it looks like. This is, I think, my top pick of this collection. It just goes on so gorgeously, and it is that bright shade that's going to give you an instant tan. So here's a look at that first easy creamy coat. This one did go on very smooth. Again, great job at self-leveling. These are not hard to work with at all. It was maybe just a little bit shy of being completely opaque, so I am going to go ahead and show you what it looks like with that second coat. 2 coats for sure brings this one completely opaque. Again, I did have a little bit of a dull finish, so I do recommend going in with a coat of glossy top coat to keep things nice and flashy and also protect the wear time. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat under artificial lighting, and then here's a quick photo from an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is Hedonist, and this is a bright neon yellow. So this one was a dream to work with. Honestly, this is one of the polishes that impressed me the most in this collection. So here's a quick look at that first easy coat. This one did go on fairly opaque. It was just a little bit streaky. I think yellows are kind of notoriously hard to work with. The formula on this one for a yellow is amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this coat, let it dry, and then show you how it built up for me with that second coat. So here, this second coat is bringing this polish completely opaque. I think depending on your application method, if you prefer to go in super thin, this may be one that you need 3 coats for, but honestly, 2 coats got me completely there with no issues at all. So here's a look at that completed mani. 2 coats before a glossy top coat. This is one of the most flattering yellows I've run across. I do tend to have kind of red tones, and yellows will give me lobster hands. This one just gave me a gorgeous tan though. So next up is Cyber, and this is described as a grass green, neon green polish. Again, really nice look there. It is showing up maybe a touch less of grass green and more of like a blue jade green. So it is maybe a little bit darker than it's showing up here. So here's a look at that first easy coat. I would say that this was the sheerest of the collection for me. It did go on nice and smooth, just barely streaky. Really easy to formula to work with. Just depending on your application method, you may prefer to go in for a third coat. So here's a look at the second for me. It did bring it completely opaque. I am getting some VNL there from the lights reflecting up at an angle that does not show at all. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle in that direct sunlight. So next up is Wanderlust, and this is described as a neon ocean blue polish. This does have a little bit of that robin egg feel to it, very bright and beautiful. I am swatching this one without a base coat. I didn't have any staining, but I didn't wear it for a super long time. So I did go in maybe a little bit heavy-handed here for this first coat, but it did go on smooth. I really, even with that thicker coat, didn't have any issues with pulling. It was just a little bit sheer, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how it built up for me with that second easy coat, and it did bring this polish completely opaque. Again, I do recommend going in with 1 coat of your favorite glossy top coat for all of these polishes today, but here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. It was a tad wet there, and then this is my final swatch photo at an angle in that direct sunlight. So next up is Taboo, and this is a bright, a fuchsia purple. It does have very strong pink tones in there. It reminds me for some reason of like a high heel Barbie shoe, just very bright and vibrant, very 90s actually. So here's a look at that first easy coat. This one went on so smooth and beautiful. I am still wearing it, so I'm absolutely in love with it. It was just a little bit shy of being completely opaque here with that first coat, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how it built up for me with a second. This second coat does easily bring this polish completely opaque. Again, no complaints at all. The formulas are on point. The finishes are amazing and vibrant. They do just dry down just a tad bit dull. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle in that direct sunlight. So that does wrap up my swatch and review of the Vice 2018 collection. Again, these are available right now from Cirque Colors. I cannot recommend them enough. I was extremely impressed across the board. If you'd like to see more photos of any of the polishes featured here today, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.com, or you can also follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.